Well, hello, howdy, howdy. How we doing tonight, people? Been a couple of days since I made a video. So the talk of the town seems to be on Joshua Wilder. So I figured I'd make a video for you with some thoughts on that. All right. So Joshua fought Hellenius last week, and he didn't look good doing it. Let's cut right to the fucking chase here. Didn't look good doing it. Looked very tentative, however you spell it. I'm not. What do I look like? Einstein over here. Looked lethargic. Looked very lethargic against Hellenius. Didn't look good in his last fight against Jermaine Franklin, which, Jermaine Franklin had just had that fight with White that could have went either way. But he did a lot better than White did, right? Cards were a little too wide. Tony Bellew was sucking him off. But he did a lot better against Franklin than White did. And I'm just going back and then before that, he lost to Usyk twice. So, last year and the year before. So, what do I think? Well, if he shows up like that against Wilder, he loses. I'll tell you that right now. Joshua, look, man. Joshua has one of the better overall bodies of work of the current heavyweights. Might have the best overall body of work. Aside of Fury and Usyk hasn't been there long enough. I'm not talking about wins, but their overall body of work. I would say him and Fury are probably tick for tack, But I would say Fury's probably actually a little bit past him. But anyways, that said, he can't go in there against Deontay Wilder tentative and lethargic and not wanting to engage and shit like that. Like, bro, that's why Fury pummeled Wilder in their second fight, is because Fury got right in his chest, brought it to him, said, let's go, right? Now, and here's another big thing. I'm not saying AJ doesn't have any heart. I'm not saying that. He did get up from Klitschko, fine. He got up a couple of times against Ruiz. I thought he could have kept continuing in that first Ruiz fight, to tell you the truth, right? And he's gotten cracked a couple of times by Usyk and White and some other guys, and he stood in there. But there's also been a couple of moments where Joshua, in my opinion, has shown a little bit of a lack of heart, particularly in that first Ruiz fight. He could have kept going. And to his credit, he did try in that second Usyk fight. Usyk's just too dynamic for him, right? He's too versatile and too dynamic for him. And I'll tell you another thing. The reason why Fury, didn't get hit by a lot of Deontay Wilder shit was because Tyson Fury's got very, very good upper body movement and head movement. He shows it off all the time, So AJ has none of that, okay? I mean, can he move his feet and his head a little bit? Yes, but not like Fury can, all right? That's another thing I think people are forgetting. AJ can't, see, and here's the thing. It's been so long since I played chess. What's the one piece of the chessboard that goes from one end to the other, but it can only go that one direction? That's what Deontay Wilder is. But it kills you off the, for you chess, anyways. Now, he can't go straight back and go straight forward at Wilder because he'll get lined up for the right hand. If Joshua wants to win, hit him with different shit, confuse him a little bit. Don't come in straight down the line, because that's what Wilder wants you to do. If he does that, he's going to get caught, man. Like, don't back up in a straight line and don't come forward in a straight line, man. Like, it easier said than done. They're big dudes. I understand that. But, again, that's why Fury had a lot of success against Wilder, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions that are reasonable. He beat Wilder 3 times, right? So he's got to be able to take his head off the line. He's got to be able to, like I say, don't go straight in, don't come straight out. Joshua is going to be good. See, and here's another thing. Wilder, don't be all the way out with Wilder, man. Be somewhere where he's not getting the full extent on his punches. And obviously, I'm not comparing Wilder to Tommy Hearns, but he's got that similar build for a heavyweight where his arms are just long as hell. He's tall, skinny, and long. But I'm not going to speculate too much on this fight. I just wanted to give some initial thoughts here. I want to see it actually get set and made first, okay, before I start making 3, 4, 5, 6 videos about it. I actually want to see it get made and set in stone instead of people, clamming about it. That's, you guys know who I am. I don't really like talking about these fights until they're actually made. If they get called off, like Virgil Ortiz standing on us, if somebody gets an injury or pops dirty like White AJ, fine, but shit happens. I understand that. But I'm not one of these dudes that's just going to keep speculating about a fight 1,800 times, just like I didn't with Crawford Spence. I talked about it for a year or two on my old channel. Then I was like, fuck this. These guys aren't fighting each other anytime soon. And then when they did, I started talking about it again. So I'm not one of these guys just going to make 18 videos of speculation. Tell me when the fight's set, and then we can go more in depth about it. But that said, if AJ shows up like that against Wilder, yeah, he's getting fucking knocked out, bro. He's getting knocked out. AJ has to get up for this fight, man. He's got to... Because he just looked... This and the Franklin fight, he came to win in that second Usyk fight. I don't give a shit what nobody says. He wanted to get that back from Usyk, all right? He wanted to be a 3-time heavyweight champion. He tried. He did try in that second Usyk fight. He tried. He did a little bit better than he did in the first one. It just wasn't enough, right? But he's got to get up for this fight. He's got to leave no stone unturned. And I will say this: switching coaches every 6 months probably ain't going to help with that. This is a fight AJ can win. This is the thing. This is a fight Joshua can win. But it's really, how bad do you want it? Are you going to show some heart in there when you start getting cracked? That's how I look at this fight. Because he's just looks so lethargic, not caring, not trying to go, in these last couple of fights. Like I said, them Usyk fights he came to win, and even going back a little bit further, in that second Ruiz fight. See, that second Ruiz fight, that was a shit fight, by the way. It was a terrible fight, but okay, fine. He knocked you out in the first fight. You wanted to be cautious and turn it into a boxing match and outpoint him. Whatever, fine. Then you went and killed Pulev or whatever. I think he killed Pulev after that. And then it was either before or after that second Ruiz fight. But then he fought Usyk twice. See, this is what I always say. Ruiz took his ball. This is what I always say. Ruiz took his balls. Usyk took his brains. I always say that with regards to Joshua. But he can win this fight. He can. But not if he shows up like he did against Robert Helenius, and not if he doesn't have it in him no more. He better come to win. Not to have a good fight and get knocked out. He's got to, man, he's going to, because he's going to get it. This is the problem with this fight, bro. And I see a lot of people on the Twitter and on YouTube are really pulling for AJ on this one. But, again, he doesn't have the head movement and the upper body movement of Fury. Now, that said, I do think Joshua hits a little harder than Fury. Okay? And he definitely can do the same thing to Wilder. He can knock Wilder he can knock Wilder the fuck out, but it's probably going to take more than one shot. All right? It's probably going to take more than one shot, and you're going to get hit in there, and you're going to have to bite down, and you're going to have to go after it. Okay? And what we've been seeing from AJ lately, we don't see any urgency. We don't see any tenacity or him like really going after it, bro. So, but another thing is Joshua's fought twice this year. Okay? Wilder, on the other hand, has fought less than a round in 2 years. Be over 2 years by the time this fight would get made. Okay? If it were to happen in December or whatever, like they're speculating about, which I don't know about that, but we'll see. Wilder's fought less than a round in over 2 years, and by the time this rolls around, in over 2 years, if he were to go in there right now. All right. And before that, he got brutally knocked out by Tyson Fury twice. And he's also, what is he, 37? He's either 37 or 38 years old now. So, unless you're just dick riding for one side or the other, just like with Crawford Spence, this is a tough fight to call, people. It's not, but I will say this. If he shows up like he did against Helenius, he gets knocked out, but you'd be a dumbass to write Joshua off. You would, because Wilder is a little bit of a hype job. They gassed him up a little bit too much, as they like to say nowadays. They gassed him up a little bit too much, and, you know, we saw that when he fought his first real fight. Another thing going for Wilder, though, is I have seen Wilder get the shit beaten out of him and keep trying, right? Joshua, I'm not talking about Usyk scrambling his brain and confusing him and showing him how to box. But when he really gets, yes, I know he got cracked a couple times by Klitschko. But that Ruiz fight, he could have kept going, man. He could have kept going. I'm not saying he doesn't have no heart, but I've certainly seen spots in there where Josh was lacking it. Whereas Wilder, say what you want about him, he will take a fucking licking and keep trying, okay? But it's a tough one to call. I want to see them sized up to once. Excuse me. I want to see him sized up against one another, because there's another thing for you to think about. He'll have like 25 or 30 pounds on Wilder. So Wilder might be, because I think Wilder's maybe an inch taller. But they're right, they're right there. Same thing with the reach. But I'd like to see what they do with how they look stacked up to each other, because if Josh looks huge, like frame-wise next to Wilder, that's going to be a problem for Wilder too. So those are just kind of some initial thoughts on a little bit of how I could see it playing each ways. But first, I'm going to wait till the fight's set before I get before we get any further. With that being said, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you're feeling generous, throw the kid a cash app or a super thanks or whatever the fuck you feel like. God bless yous. I hope it's not raining for you like it is for me up here. Have a wonderful night. God bless you and God bless America.